everyone, I am Melissa, the Funky Crunchy Mama, and I have made my daughter a hat with some mouse ears for Halloween. She wants to be a little brown mouse with pink ears. So, unfortunately, the fleece I chose was very thick, and so I had to modify my usual pattern a little bit and make it a little bit bulkier through the top so that I had more space for seam allowances and such. The fabric I used was a Luke's fabric, and it's about, I don't know if you can see, but it's about 2 times the size, the thickness of the standard fleece. So didn't work out quite as well as I'd hoped. So this is how I modified my pattern. I just took what I originally had, which is in the white, and I added a little extra bulk through the section where I'll be stitching together at the ears, and I added a little extra on bottom just to make sure that I have the room to make sure it fits her head properly. I can always cut that off if need be. So all I'm going to do is I took my little stitch ripper, I love these things, and removed the ears from the previous hat, cut out my new pattern, and I'm just gonna, I added a little stabilizer to the inside of the ears. What you could do is, if you wanted to make a small slit where the pink side of the ears is and overlap it, it would create a bit of a curve, so you'd be able to, so they would curve in a little bit and have that cute mousy feature. So I'm basically just going to put my ears down on the right side and put my second layer over the top. So thick. Just gonna pin this in place. I like to sew. I am not a perfectionist. This is, you know, for me, if it's not forgiving, then it's not the project for me, I guess. I definitely will not be sewing wedding dresses in the future. I could consider hemming one up, but that's about as far as it would go. Pinning here, and I already checked the tensions on my sewing machine, so make sure that it's going to work with my thicker fabric, and it shouldn't have a problem. Probably could move this up a little bit. Might adjust this side a little bit. Thanks for your patience. If you follow me, you will learn that I make errors in my stitching. Not all the time, but sometimes. And I usually learn along the way as I'm working on a project, so try and pass along that knowledge from my errors to you. I also pick really easy projects, so if you are not someone who learned how to sew growing up, and try some of these. These are pretty straightforward ones. And if you don't have a sewing machine, you can usually find them for fairly inexpensively at your local thrift store or church garage sales or estate sales. There's always coupons as well if you want to buy one in store. Mine was my mother's. My mother does not sew, so it's from the 70s. Loosen this up a little bit as we go over the ears. Move on to the next side. Pull up my pins. Fingers crossed I cut everything. All right, so I'm just going to flip it back out. Ears look pretty good once I close up that hole. So I'm just going to flip it back inside out. And flip it the other way. Pin those shut. Another thing I changed in this pattern when I went back to fix it was I made this triangle a little bit more obtuse. Just so it wasn't quite as bulky at the top of her head. Of course, if you want to start with a more acute triangle, you can always stitch it differently later and cut out the excess. So, all right, pull this together. My back stitch is fine. Out. Make sure it's cut, meets in the middle. And, ouch. Pull out my pins. Oh, looks like I didn't quite get the middle on that one. Flop these ears around on the inside. Rearrange my weight a little bit. Alright, as far as the other hat goes that I made, you know, it still would fit her if I didn't have the ears in it, so I could either restitch it and have her wear it this fall and winter as just a plain brown hat. But we are expecting number 2 as well. And we have a ton of newborn hats, but before spring comes, I'm sure he'll have outgrown all of those, so I can always cut down the size a little bit and reuse it in that manner. Alright, so there's my new slightly taller mouse hat. I'll probably wait until my daughter gets up to adjust it to her head to make sure it's the right height, and then I'll stitch around through here. But that's it. Just a little stitch ripper and fixing it up. Got a new hat again. So have a great day, everybody. Don't forget to follow Funky Crunchy Mama on Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, Instagram, and to get on our email list. Thanks. Have a great day.